everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna bring back the challenges. I'm gonna do them a little bit different for the Artful Craft group. I just find without the structure of the challenges, I can't get much of anything done, and I'm hoping we'll get a little bit more participation this time. Weekly was really hard, so I'm gonna try every 2 weeks. I think it's easier for me, and I think it's probably gonna be easier for people in the group, so they have a little more time to kind of get around to it, you know, because we always have things we're doing in life. Oh, I'm going to turn this over. Some scrap paper here. So we'll do 2 challenges a month, every 2 weeks. Anyway, I guess I should say we'll do one every 2 weeks. And then the idea is that for each challenge you participate in for that month, we'll put your name in the bucket, so to speak, and we're going to do a drawing at the end of the month for a little pack of, you know, like junk journal supplies or ephemera or something. And so it'll be sponsored each month by, you know, possibly by a different moderator, but for the month, so this is the monthly challenge for August will be sponsored by Kim from Artful Crafts. So she'll be sending out the little goodie bag at the end of the month. So if you participate in both challenges, you can get your name in twice for that drawing. And then we'll try to do that each month. But it might be a different person sponsoring, you know, on some months. So, but anyway, we'll start with Kim. For this challenge, you can make anything you want to make, but I'm going to do it like a scavenger hunt challenge. And that's where you get a list of kind of semi-random items. And then you're going to make that into something that you can use, you know, on your page, on your cover, ephemera to go in a pocket, whatever you want to do. And so and I'll list these in the description box, but the challenge items or the scavenger hunt items is corrugated cardboard, a word, something that's metal, and some beads. It doesn't have to be big beads. It can be 1 bead, 2 beads, but I think what I'm going to try is I've been wanting to try this. I want to do it'll be a layered hidden paper clip, and then this is kind of a thick, I must have already torn this down for something else. I like to tear the paper backing off so that the corrugation shows, but what I'm actually going to do is I want to thin it down a little bit, and I want it more interesting. So I'm going to see if I can put gesso and stuff over this, distress it a little bit, and then I'm going to run it through, mine's a spell binder, and I'm going to run it through an embossing folder. So that'll give it some interesting texture that I can alter. But I want to do a paper clip for a page I'm working on. I already had this made, but this was actually very simple. I was making I'm not sure. I think I made a die cut on this of that little shape out of it. And this was, I think, might have been the negative. Some of the ones I have are kind of slide mount shaped, and some of them I just used the negative outside piece that I had left over. So I don't remember which way I did that, but all I did was cover this frame. This is not part of the challenge, but I'm going to use it as part of my focal image. This is those little, I think they're little Tim Holtz people. But what I liked about it was I seen someone else that did this on Pinterest. They put it so that the people were kind of in the frame, but they pop out of the frame. I love like containers and frames and stuff, but I'm not good at staying inside the frame. So this is more my aesthetic, I guess. So I'm going to use that as a focal image on it. I'm going to use this. I have to do something skinny on the back. The pages I'm working on, I have a page that's still blank, but I have something on the page behind it that's kind of low clearance at the top. So I think normally you would fold your thing in half like this and make 2 sides are the same, but you don't really have to do that. So because I don't have that much space on the back side, I think what I'm going to do is cut one side down shorter. Probably this side here, because it's got the side with the short part of the clip. Because basically the stuff on here is going to be covered up anyway. Actually, I'm going to make this the outside. Here's what I was really going to do. I do 2 papers, so one goes on the inside. I want the solid one. Excuse me. I'm going to use this one on the inside so that I can cover this text up. It's just junk paper. I just wanted something that I could use. In fact, I might cut that one down more too. I just whack something out and I don't really care. But I think this might be the size I need. Yeah, this is fine. Actually, what I might do is, this is the other way. I think I can cheat a little bit and make it so that it sticks up. Because what I'll do is, I'll try to get it on there so this is raised. That means when I put it on the page, after everything's all glued together and I put it, it's going to stop here and this part will be out. It's not going to stick out of the thing. I'm going to put this outer paper on top of it like that. And then it will stick up above the pages, basically. That'll help me get me a little bit of my space back. But basically what I do is I make sure that the inside, the outer piece I want to be slightly larger so that I don't have anything showing. In this case, I've got text on one side I don't want showing. Yeah, but it'll be trimmed down anyway, so that'll be fine. Okay, so I will mark this. And I'm just whacking this out with the scissors. Actually, I'll put the line there, but then I'll make it slightly smaller. Okay. That can be the inside, and then one side I don't need to be as tall. Actually, I heard anyway that it works better if one side's a little bit shorter, because then it's hard to get it on the page if you've got 2 sides that are identically the same length anyway. So this might work better. So it'll go like this, and then I'll put this piece in there, and then I'll probably trim. All right, I gotta think about how I'm gonna do this actually. I want this side to be longer than this, but just slightly. This will be the short side. Anyway, I hope I get this right. It might be a little bit too long for my page. If it turns out to not work, then I guess I'll use it on something different. But I'm hoping it works for my current project. Is that crooked? Probably. Okay, the other thing I do, it's not really required, but I don't like gluing down straight edges. I find them challenging because then the corners start peeling up and I get annoyed when it catches when I put it on. So I'm just going to take my little round paper or corner rounder. I think I'm not good with this thing. I think this is the smaller corner. So I'll just round all these corners. There'll actually be 2 more pieces after this, because the way I'm doing it, what I'm going to do is I want something kind of simple on one side. So it's probably just going to be some like fabric or laces or something. And then the other side will be the one that's more for the challenge. And again, you don't have to use the same concept I am. This is just how I'm doing my paperclip. You're really, for the challenge, you're going to make anything you want as long as it's got those elements. And you use them any way you want. Okay, there's that. And then I want to round off this corner. I will put my paperclip on here. This will be the inside. This is the shorter side, so I want this side on here. I want it to stick up. Oh, there we go. I want it to stick up a little bit. That's going to shorten it from my page when I get this on here. Now I'm going to glue this, and I use a regular glue, which mine is the quick dry tacky glue. because it glues really, really good. You can use Fabri-Tac, but I find that I can pull it off of things if I want to. I'll use it for like light gluing, but this, I really want the paper clip to not move. So I usually use something like this. Okay, I'm going to set this inside here. Okay, that's the big side. Make sure I get this on the right. There'll be another outer covering that will be larger than these pieces, so it should be okay. And I'm pushing the envelope edge all the way to the top. I mean, excuse me, the envelope. The paper clip edge is going to go all the way to the top of this thing, where that fold is. I squish it right in there. It is making it lumpy, but it's going to have another covering over this, so it should be okay, but that'll make it glue good. I like to put something in there so that I don't get a bunch of glue seepage in under here that makes this thing not work right. Okay, I should have laid it on the side. There we go. Okay. Now I glue this down. This will basically make the core part of the covered paper clip. Then I just decorate and I glue it on. For the more traditional kind, if you want to make it each side exactly the same, you just cut a longer piece and fold it in half over the thing. But I'm going to do one side as fabric, like lace and stuff, and one side... Then I wiggle this around. Ooh, that feels tight. Okay. Because sometimes I get just... Yeah, I did. In fact, I see a little bit of glue right there. That's where I like to put the cardstock or a piece of scrap cardstock or something in there and then wiggle it around to make sure that I'm not getting any seepage there. I already have this piece cut. Let's see. I want this. I got to think about this for a minute. Because the color of the page that I'm working on, I want the outer... Oh, I scared myself. Oh, let me cap my glue here. I want the outer edge to be this. This kind of coordinates with the page it's going to go on. And then... I'm trying to figure this part out. I don't want that raised up that much. I guess I gotta remember it's gonna be flat. If this piece is not really, the thing is, I love this piece, and it's already peeled. If it's not really the right size, I might have to cheat and just do a new piece here. Which this is thinner already, I think, than this piece is. I think what I want to do instead of making this the back, I think this will be the back that gets glued onto the paper clip. Because I'm gonna emboss it, and I don't want these weird textures behind the people, I think. So I think I'll make a little piece of this, and then it will get mounted on the bigger cardboard. That's what I'll do. Okay. I'm just gonna flip this over. That way I can make this, I want this just a little exterior frame that'll kind of offset it. Now the other thing I have to think about on these things is the top edge, because of my paper clip, is going to extend a little bit outside the book. I have to make sure that my base pieces are interesting and not this white that I don't like. So I will have to probably put book text or something on things if it's something that might show. I have to wet this down and soften it to do the embossing part. So it might be a little bit more flexible, and of course it will be thinner than it is right now. Like right now, this would be hard to put on a paper clip. I'm just going to try it and see what I get. Basically, I'll just round the corners and glue it down because I think that this part's not going to show because it's going to be mounted on the other piece. I should be able to use Fabri-Tac on this part. Sometimes I use a glue stick and then just touch it up with the Fabri-Tac. You know, I don't know why I feel like it makes a difference which way this goes. Oh, I gotta remember, I'm also gonna put an eyelet in this thing. and a dangle, because that's where the metal and the beads will come from. There are some words on this text, so I could probably sneak by with that, but I'll figure the embellishment out. I do have a little metal word I might put on there, but oh, don't do that. That's backwards. I forgot. I'm not papering the back. Okay. Oh, that's a little rough. Okay. Use this. Ah, and then I didn't put any Fabri-Tac on, did I? I forgot. All right, I'll just see how it seals. Sometimes I do this, and then if it doesn't hold good enough, then I squeeze some in there, and I don't feel good about it. Now I'll prepare this. So this is the main part of my image. Now I'm going to take this, and what I liked on this is the rough edges, so I will see if I can tear this thing. I feel like it's not exactly the right, but oh, don't cut it that close. But what I might do is, and so I still need to cover the back because I think I'm going to raise this part up. I just make sure that if anything shows from the other side that it looks decent. I'm not a big white fan, especially if it's like this, where it's just plain white stuff. Oh, it's not that one, it's this one. Okay, it's this one. Yeah, and then I was going to raise it up like this. And then what I will do, I think usually I peel both sides a little bit, which actually would make it thinner. But because it's going to be glued to that thing, I'm feeling like that might not be... Oh, this is not what I was looking for, by the way. This is not the kind of peel I usually get. It was like it came off in one solid piece. Usually it's kind of distressed. I guess I got a little bit there that's not, so that's okay. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to emboss it, which I'll be honest, hardly any of my embossing is going to show unless I raise this up more, I guess. Okay. But before I do that, I was going to see if I can color this a little bit so it's not so... I like brown, but I wanted it a little bit more distressed looking, I guess. Ooh, I'm getting splatters. This is just white gesso. You can also use like a chalk paint for this type of look, but I just want to... I'm not going to leave it pure white. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to dry it. I want to add distressing, but I think I'll do that after I emboss it. So let me dry this real quick. And then I remembered this is going to stick up, so this side's going to show too. So I'll go ahead and add a little bit of gesso on the back of this too. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want a little something to knock back the crafty brown, I guess. This is the embossing folder. I haven't used it for a long time. I hope it works okay. It looks kind of warped. It's the Sizzix. I don't know if it's Tim Holtz or not. It just says Sizzix, I think. So I'm going to spritz it with water to kind of soften it a little bit and then run it through my spellbinder. I'll be right back. Okay, I think it worked. It took me several tries because the standard recipe that I use for my sandwich plate doesn't work, I guess, with the embossing folders. It was too thick, and then I didn't have enough shim, but I finally figured it out. So anyway, I think my card was dry, but then I spritzed it with the water, and then some of the gesso came off in here, so I'm just trying to wipe that back. I tried to dry it just a little bit, but I always get worried that the heat will make me lose my texture, but maybe it won't. So anyway, it's not too damp now. If it's not that damp, I'll just cheat and do this. This is how I usually do the best anyway. Direct to paper. It still feels damp, so it might be actually oxidizing, but that's okay. I'm going to try to see if I can get this a little bit more dry, because I don't want to glue it down with it feeling quite this soft. Okay, I think it's dry enough to move on. It's still a little bit soft, but that might be to my advantage if it's not completely dry. I don't know. So I'm going to glue this down with a good glue again, because I want this to really hold. I'm going to skip this little section on the top, because that's where the glue, or where the top is going to be sticking over the edge. I'm going to glue this down. Again, Fabri-Tac might be okay, but I really get annoyed when stuff starts peeling up on me, because if I get a little corner that comes off, it's just going to pretty much come off. I'm going to put this down there, and this is quick dry, but not as quick as Fabri-Tac, of course. And then I'm going to put a book and a weight. I use my big, heavy long arm punch. Mine is not, I do have a, what do you call it, the big bite? I have the big bite, but I actually have one that's more old school, that's very heavy metal, cast iron. That's how I weight down things that are real tricky to glue, because a few minutes under that and it is not budging. Okay, so I'll put this down and I'll put a weight on it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. It feels good. And I know this is a little bigger one you use for a regular paper clip, but I look at it as a page embellishment, basically. It normally wouldn't be this big, but I made this for fun to use in one of my junk journals, and not knowing how I was going to use it. If I were going to make a paper clip from scratch, I probably would not use this size, but it'll be fun. Okay, now I need my paper clip right here. Okay, this is the top side, so now I'm going to glue this on there. What I was going to do on the back, because I want to test this first to make sure I don't need to color this thing. I mean, it shouldn't show, but I always worry about these things. Yeah, what I think I was going to do is line the top of the paper clip up with the edge of this. That way. Oh, I will edge this in case the top edge shows a little bit because of thickness or something. Hopefully it won't show, but what I was thinking about doing, and I'll have to prepare a base, but I like to kind of get an idea before I do this. And it doesn't fit. Okay. My paper clip's way up here, though, so I think I will trim this down more, actually. Because I don't need it this long. By the time I got everything all on here, it turned out to be a different configuration than what I originally thought. Okay. Yeah, my paper clip is way up here. So I'm going to trim this down some more by hand. Now what I was thinking, I think it was going to have two things. This is my tricky part. What I like to do, I'll use this maybe. What I like to do is cover both sides of this with fabric. This is just my personal thing. And actually I will stitch this too, so it'll hold it down better, more flat. Maybe I don't need fabric on the other side. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like I already stitched that once because I see mint green on there. Okay. just kind of sort of have to get this part figured out first so I can make sure before I get too far along here that all this is going to work. Now, I didn't stitch that again. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not really planning on it at this point. But I am planning on stitching this piece, though. Okay. Again, I'm going to clip these. And I'll go back in with a little bit of Fabri-Tac or something on the edges, because I really like these things to stick good. The reason I was thinking about putting fabric on the back is I think that this part might show. That's what I'm trying to get a feel for. Because if I put the paper clip in here, go up to the top, then I've got this piece on there. Oh, maybe it won't show. I can go slightly above that. I think I'm okay, actually. Oh, wait. It's got to be in time. It's got to be in line with that. But I could also just glue another thing on here. I was thinking about using this on there, though. I made this a while back. See, I was thinking about this on the other side, and then I might put a little embellishment or something across here. I think that's the underside. All right, so I will glue this down next and weight it down again. And then I will put this back in here again to make sure that things aren't gluing down on the sides that shouldn't be. Oh, that's right. I usually take the bone folder and get that in there so it goes inside those grooves. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to weight this down again with my book and my weight for a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, it should be dry now. I realized one thing when I was stitching this up. I started thinking about this. So, I got this all stitched together now. I can't glue down all the way behind this thing, or I can't get the paper inside. So I think what I'm going to do is raise it. This part's above the paper clip, so I'll raise this up slightly up higher. A little bit of ratty fabric will show, but that's fine with me. And I will run I'll run a line of glue up here, and then I will glue on this part. Let me make sure this gets covered up. Yeah, see, now a little bit of this is going to show, so I need to add another little piece of trim or something. Well, I got to use the better glue anyway, so I'll just do it. I'll put a little glue over here. And glue this part down. Oh, let me stick this back in there, because this is an accident waiting to happen. Okay, I'm hoping that's enough to get by. So I will glue. Okay, I think the rest of this will be okay now. Oh, hope my glue comes out. I'm gonna glue here, and of course I'm gonna have to weight this whole thing down again. I want one thread that goes across the top of this, and then I'll glue this part. I forgot to wiggle this thing around. I hope this is still not super solid, but it might be enough to continue. Okay. Now I'll put this on, and then I will weight this down again. I think I got it finished up. So oh, let me put this card in here to show you. So I took the card out. Now it's a little ugly back here, but there will be a page there, so that part's really not going to matter. This is just a card, but to give you an idea of what it looks like on the page. So when I put it on the page, it's going to stick up about this much, kind of like a tab. And then this will be my embellishment at the top. I add this little number. I'm not sure. I think they're called French laundry numbers or something. I got it off of Etsy. There's a whole row of them with the same number. And then this is the front. So I added a little word up here. This is peace embellishment, and then I ran an eyelet. So this is metal. I added a jump ring and then a little one of those little bulb pins with the beads on it. This will hopefully make it go a little bit more flat. It does, of course, stick up a little bit, but that I think will make it dangle a little bit better. So there is my challenge for the month. Of course, you don't have to do an altered paper clip. You can make anything you want, but you're using a word, an eyelet, corrugated cardboard, and metal and some beads. Actually, this is metal. I got like 3 pieces of metal now. Anyway, yeah, go ahead and give the challenge a try and post your, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to have to add some more glue under there. Anyway, and post it in the group using the hashtag, weekly, well, it's not weekly challenge, but we'll call it weekly challenge. And then we'll do a drawing at the end of the month. So, thank you guys so much.